Hey everybody, this is John with Quickful, I think. I'm going to be doing a review of The Martian. I just saw it earlier in the week, and the movie came out yesterday, so I figured it'd be a good thing to do a review. I would usually write these, but I decided to do a video review instead. I thought it'd be something kind of different, so hopefully you like it. Um, okay, so The Martian is actually based off the Andy Weir novel that I've read. It's a fantastic book. It's got action, humor, heart, just a really, really great novel. And a couple years ago, it was announced that 20th Century Fox had won the rights or bought the rights to translate the book to film. And originally, Drew Goddard, who was the writer director of Cabin in the Woods, if you've seen that, he was the original crew. He was the original showrunner for Netflix's Daredevil. He was also working on a Spider-Man Sinister Six movie. So he's had a lot going on in Hollywood. He doesn't have much to show for it. Uh, anyway, so he ended up writing the script. He dropped out to direct, and Ridley Scott came in. Ridley Scott, I mean, he's a Hollywood legend. He's directed Alien, Blade Runner, uh, Gladiator. Recently, he did Prometheus, which a good amount of people liked, but a good amount of people really didn't like it. So he really hasn't had a good movie in a while, which I'm going to get to later. But anyway, yeah, so The Martian. Um, the central premise of the film and also the book is there is a NASA team on Mars, the third NASA team to go to Mars. They're doing their standard mission of what they're supposed to be doing there, and there's a bad storm that comes, which they need to evacuate. As they are evacuating, Mark Watney, who is Matt Damon's character, gets left behind. Well, doesn't get left behind. He gets hit by. I don't want to say. Well, I don't want to give anything away for the movie. He gets hit by something. They think he's dead. They have to leave him, and turns out he's alive. So the central conflict of the film is he's left on Mars by himself. He's got resources to survive. He has food. It's been in the trailer. He has enough food to last him for a good amount of time because there was food there for six crew members, him being one of them. So now food for six is now food for one. But the bigger, so he has enough to last him for a while. But the bigger problem is not another team from Earth is coming to Mars for 4 years. So he has a lot of food, but not exactly enough to last him for 4 years. On top of that, he has no way of communicating with Mars. So he needs to find a way to get in touch with NASA to say, hey, I'm alive. Surprise. One of the lines from the movie. So that is basically the central main plot of the film. There's a I don't want to spoil anything about it. I mean, I basically told you what you need to know to go see the film, and everything pretty much takes off from there. I will get to the casting now or the actors involved. I will start off with, of course, Matt Damon. He is the star of this film. He plays the lead role of Mark Watney, and he is fantastic. The book There's a lot of humor in the book that when Matt Damon delivers, mind you, word for word from the book in the film, he delivers it spot on, exactly how you would have probably pictured it in your head while reading the novel. He does the emotional moments obviously great. The physicality of it, he did a fantastic job. Um, I was very glad with his selection to star in this film. I really would have been hard pressed to find another actor who I could have seen in this role. But on top of that, um, this movie has been compared to Castaway, a cross between Castaway and Apollo 13. Ironically, both starring Tom Hanks. But Castaway, because a good portion of the film, Damon is the only actor on screen. It's basically just him, and him talking to you, the audience, who is actually making video logs, but explaining this is the problems, this is what I have to get through, this is what I have to work out in order to survive. But I bring that up because he's the only actor on screen for a good amount of the movie, and not a lot of actors can do that. I know Will Smith pulled it off very well in I Am Legend. Tom Hanks, who I just mentioned, in Castaway. You know, Sandra Bullock, yeah, in Gravity. I know George Clooney was in that too, but she was mainly the majority of that film by herself. But Matt Damon does a great job of not only drawing you in because he needs to be an endearing character for you to care about him, but with the humor and how he is able to convey all the emotions he has of he's scared. He doesn't know if he's going to get home. He has so many obstacles he has to get through on Mars to survive, and I think he just pulls it off great. I think his casting was perfect. As for the other actors, I mean, the cast is phenomenal. Jeff Daniels, Jessica Chastain, Kirsten Wiig, who I know she's a comedic actress, but I was surprised she was pretty well. There's Michael Pena, Sean Bean, Donald Glover, Sebastian Stan from Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier. Um, so yeah, big cast. They all do great with their roles. Pretty much every actor or actress in this movie, the way they can, the way they acted their character from the book was very much, I think, true to the book. I didn't think anyone really went out of character with what was on page. I thought they all played them very, very, very well. Oh, I forgot one of the best actors working today. I forgot to mention him, and I'm gonna butcher his name because it's very hard to pronounce. Chitowell Ejiofor. I probably butchered that. He was nominated for an Academy Award a couple years ago for 12 Years a Slave. He was a star. He's fantastic. He probably, other than Matt Damon, I would say he has the largest role in the film, largest male role in the film because there are the actresses who have large roles as well, especially Jessica Chastain. But he's great. Him and Jeff Daniels. I read one review where they said you wouldn't know that those two actors in particular are acting. They are so good in their roles. You believe one is the head of NASA and the other one is also works in NASA. They are that good. Um, so on to the special effects. The movie I think reportedly cost about 105. I think that might be maybe that's a bit low. It wasn't like a $200 million film because remember, this is just Matt Damon on screen with one set. They shot in Bulgaria, I want to say, or was it Jordan? I'm not really sure, but I know they obviously shot the Mars in a desert type, real setting. They didn't want to use green screen. I hate when films do that to use green screen to, oh, let's save money. Well, guess what? The audience knows it's fake, and it takes them out because they don't really care because they know this was shot in a heated slash air conditioned, studio. But no, that's not the case here. Everything looks real. Everything looks practical. Everything looks like it was shot authentically. I mean, obviously you can't shoot on Mars, but they made it look as if they were on Mars. Um, Special effects are great. The quality, the detail, the cinematography is fantastic. And I guess finally I will get to the the big part of what made this film work, which I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of surprised. Ridley Scott. He has not made a good film in a while. I want to say his last really great film was Gladiator. Some people say American Gangster, which I've seen. It was pretty good. But Gladiator, won Academy Award, Best Picture. Russell Crowe got Best Actor. To me, that was his last truly great film. That was about 15 years ago, I want to say, possibly 16. I'm not sure of the exact year on that, but he hits this out of the park. He does an amazing job with this film. I think a lot of that, well, no, I don't want to say a lot of it. He had Drew Goddard's fantastic script to work with. However, and I mentioned this in the only other video I've done with this was the Batman Superman trailer review. I cited Zack Snyder having a great script to work with for that film. But just because you have a great script doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get a great film. However, Ridley Scott, as he has shown over decades he's been in Hollywood, is a great director visually. You need to give him a great script to work with. He had a great script to work with here, and he hit it out of the friggin' park. Fantastic job. Fantastic. And the way he shot scenes, the way he was smart enough to work in how Matt Damon not only discusses the obstacles he's going through, but obviously also as an audience member to drive the story forward. What's going on? What's happening now? It's very scientific. It's space, and I think he does a great job of conveying and explaining the science of this story, where an audience member understands what is going on, what the problem is, what needs to be done to figure out the problem. So yeah, Scott did a great job overall. As a huge fan of the book, I thought the film was fantastic. Out of 5 stars, the thing is, I never want to say a film is perfect, but this is pretty damn close. 4.8 out of 5. Hell, 4.9. I mean, out of 5 stars, definitely out 4.5, more than that. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was so happy to see they did such a great job with this. As a very big fan of the book, um, it's I saw it in 3D. 3D is good. I mean, but you know what? You can see it in standard without 3D glasses. Looks just as great visually speaking. Yeah, it's getting great reviews. They said that the box office for this is going to be #1, and I'm sure this is going to go on to rack up lots of big box office. I expect it to have a solid shot, with the awards season coming into play now. It's certainly not, oh, it's this, you really speaks to you as a human, and it's just like, I can't see it winning Best Picture because it does have its action. It's an entertaining film. It's a popcorn film. But at the same time, it's got a great story too. So I can see it getting a Best Picture nom, absolutely. I think it's that good. But with the way the Academy is, they'll never give it to a film like this because they want more of an artsy film to win. Um, but yeah, it'll definitely get some awards, consideration and hopefully some nominations. Um, yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. I loved it. Highly recommend you go see it. I loved it. I'm sure you will too. Um, yeah, it's a great film. It says a lot about um, people working together for a common good to save just one person. I think especially today with what's going on in the world, especially what just happened the other day in Oregon, you you see the best of people in the worst of times and working together, and you realize people, despite where they come from, what nationality they are, what color of their skin, people are people, and they're all the same, and it's great to see when they work together to achieve one goal. So not to get too mushy, but um, I think it's important to know that message. So yeah, Hope you enjoyed this. I'll probably do another one sometime in the near future. And go see The Martian. You will not regret it. Okay? Thanks, guys. Bye.